he was more stern. I mean, when I say stern, he was more level-headed, and they got rid of him. In Crown Point.
There's a message in Crown Point.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about in Maryville, whatever.
Colorado.
Colorado Street.
Maryville, right.
You know, but that dividing line is so crazy out there.
Yeah,
It's really Crown Point. Yeah. I mean, the dividing line out there is really crazy. In that sense, saying crazy that is just, you don't know where you are. You would think certain things are what it is, but according to the map, it's not.
You know, I just want to interject and just say that sometimes when our religious orientation is not practical and comprehensive, then it leads to them fairy tale type of it leads to embracing fairy tale type of culture where you begin to read things and you take it literally. You know, and that's very dangerous, and you're absolutely right. And that's why the religious orientation that an individual receives is so important, because it sets the tone in terms of educating them with the right spiritual perceptions, concepts, principles, thoughts, and ideals. You know, and so a lot of times, you know, when brothers or sisters come into the fold of Islam, it depends on their religious orientation and who is the instructor, and what does he feed them. You know, these things are critical, but we take things so lightly these days. We just come into these type of settings, and we don't have a basis, a healthy basis from which to understand correct spiritual perceptions and principles, so that we won't be misled in a lot of these fairy tale type of scenarios. And it's not always easy for a young mind, an impressionable mind, someone who's seeking, you know, so they are more susceptible or vulnerable to these type of things without the correct instructors who have the right understanding to be able to convey to them a correct meaning, so they won't be misled.
Right.
So these things are very critical. It's extremely critical. And so you begin to eat this stuff, and as you said, you begin to grow on these things, and now you're producing this nonsense.
Repetition. Repetitive.
Critical. Not just young brothers, I mean, older too.
Big time.
Dr. Rasheed, I want to make a comment about this idea of choice. The human being has a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know that we are not the only creatures that have that free will. The jinn also has that free will. He's able to choose between right and wrong. So, you know, human beings are not the only ones that have that.
That's correct.
Right. Make that comment.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. I try not to get off into the gene per se, because I understand it's not there. You know, so I try to stay away from things I don't totally understand myself.
And that's a difference.
Yeah.
And that falls in what I just said. You know, if your instructor is decent, and because we'll never be better than our understanding, we shouldn't go no farther than our understanding. You know, because whatever we give to a person, and that person accepts that and embrace that, then we also responsible for it. Hopefully we won't have no corrupt individual coming in here giving tainted information or corrupt spiritual perceptions. Although you have individuals, Allah says in the Quran, you have individuals who will build masjid just to mislead people away from the truth.
Right.
Use their wealth, use their charisma, use their slick talk, or their articulate and eloquent talk, just to mislead individuals away from the truth. So these things are very, very critical, and they're very, very real.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do to be able to kind of counteract that? What kind of suggestions we make about that? Me and Brother Imam was talking this morning, you know, And we were saying like a certain thing, we should be able to, like, come to masjid sometime and have prayer and then just sit around in a different brotherhood. You know,
Well,
we
just
talk
think
about
tank.
different
Well,
things.
just a think tank.
So a good think tank, that's what we need. Now he called it intelligence, I think it was, the term he used. We just come together and just talk, bring a good subject, and everybody have something and get some type of input on it so we could all come with the same mindset about it.
Right.
You know, so I think that would be helpful for all of us, you know?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, some people are doing that. There's a lot of learning or schools that's by way of blog, radio, internet, conference calls, where people are constantly trying to expand to keep us connected by way of conference calls.
Well, you know, your knowledge base is extremely important too in terms of Quran, you know, and in terms of authentic hadith. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of mysticism and a whole lot of philosophy, things of that nature that you have to be real careful about too. And that's why I said our religious orientation is so critical, because it gives you a knowledge base from which to work from. You know, and if you're around learned individual who have the correct spiritual understanding and who can translate the Quranic Arabic to give you to impress upon your mind and your heart the correct spiritual perception and ideals and thoughts, then that would help in terms of giving you a solid base of knowledge from which to work from. Because none of us will be better than our understanding, and our understanding has to be rooted in the correct concepts and ideals and the right, healthy, spiritual, religious beliefs and values.
Right.
Everything goes from there. And then you'll be able to dispel a lot of this foolishness that comes your way.
Yeah. So there are a lot of, not say a lot, but there are people who are trying to enslave others. Who are trying to create a prison camp mentally. All the time. And everywhere, just about everywhere you can look. They're recruiters. Because the human is impressionable.
Especially if they see you working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are set up to discourage you. Pretend to work with you just to build you up and then have a way to know where your weaknesses are, and then you be undermined to a point where you don't even want to come back around.
And most people don't have vision. That's what's really lacking.
Yeah.
Most of our people don't have vision. A vision for themselves, a vision for the whole community, a vision for just a vision. Most of our people don't have vision.
Or independent thinking, rather than trapped again by a dysfunctional culture.
And self-motivation.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about vision, you know, I got about 43 years left in this community, involved in the trenches. You know, and I got to go back to where it started from. You know, but the first leading teacher we got, they already were a religious teacher, but when we look at the mental and moral and the physical discipline that we got up on the religion of the Most Honorable Muhammad, you know, we was then given a vision where we supposed to be going. You know, and somewhere down the line we lost connection with that. And we came when Imam Muhammad came and give us this and connected with our spiritual perception. So that is the answer for taking this community where we supposed to go. All we got to do is follow what's been laid down before us, Don Elijah Muhammad and Imam Muhammad. We can hold firm to that, and the information is here. We just got to be able to act on it. We don't need nobody to come and try to create nothing. It's already been created. All we got to do is follow it and get it and implement it, work it. That's all we need to do. That's my perception about it. You know, if you want to come in and bring all these other bigger ideas and things in here, it's already here. Do the work. Just get busy and do what needs to be done. You know, we didn't have that problem in the first experiment.
But that, in my estimation, I wasn't in the first, but like I say, many people don't have a vision.
Yeah.
We're good followers.
Yes, sir.
And if somebody can almost tell you what to do. We're good followers,
Yes, sir.
and we're trained that way.
Right.
And that becomes a problem.
Yeah, so we need somebody to come in and see what how to implement it.
Well, just to be independent.
Be independent.
You know, I would say for myself,